back, folks. My name's Ron. This is my YouTube channel. This is called Ron's 12 Inches. This is all about your vinyl, all about your music, your CDs, your iPods, anything to do about music. Anyway, let's dig down here a minute, see what we've pilfered. Right, this, believe it or not, is a little 7-inch single, and that was my very first single that I ever bought when I was 14 years of age. It's Van McCoy and the Shuffle. Yeah, first bit of pocket money I ever spent on a single. I think it was about 49 pence. There were the days when they 49 pence for a single. Another little implement there, look, little paintbrush. Great for getting the old dust off your things around your apparatus, like in between your grooves and all that, on your bits you can't get close to without, like with your dusters and all that. You just poke that in there, pull it around, and Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, and away it goes, and it's all done, clean. Right, what I'm going to do today, I'm going to review one of my all-time favourite artists, and this album is actually still on the deck. I just played it recently. This is, I hope you can see that, Kate Bush, The Kick Inside. Absolutely fantastic album. If you've never heard this album, go and get yourself a copy. Don't matter if you get it on CD or download it or put it on Spotify or something. Just have a listen to some of these tracks. This lady is unbelievable, absolutely superb. Individuality, just is second to none. No one takes her off. No one's ever done anything like it before. So you know what I mean. She's just got her own persona. No one can rip her off, and she's just absolutely fantastic. Like I say, that's just on the deck there. Usually, what I do, well, there's the inner sleeve for that, and I don't think it's the original inner sleeve, to tell you the truth. Maybe, I'm not too sure, but when it's a paper sleeve like that, you tend to get, unless it's lined with your anti-static, like you get some anti-static liners, they're no good, because when you pull your vinyl out, all you're getting is paper cuts all over it. So what I tend to do, I'll get these Akari like anti-static sleeves, and I'll take the sleeve out, like the record out of the original sleeve, if it's a paper one that is. If it's not, I'll leave it in there, and I'll pop it in there, pop that back in there like that. You can't get it back in. Pop it back in there like that, and then I'll give me a little outer sleeve, pop that in the top there like that, and it's all protected. And like I say, that's the original album from 1978. That was released on the 17th of February 1978 on my birthday, when I was, well, I would have been 16 then. Anyway, like I say, Kate Bush was born in 1958, started writing when she was 11, believe it or not. She was actually found by David Gilmour from Pink Floyd, and he recommended her to a few sites, and EMI Records picked her up, signed her for I think $3 grand, I think, something like that. But they ruined her really. EMI were no good for Kate Bush. I think she pushed the next record out too fast, Lionheart. The next Never Forever was a really good album, but then again he pushed it too far, and I think in the end she had enough, and I think she jumped ship. She had to fulfil the contract that she'd signed for him, but other than that she just got out, because she that was just, you know what I mean, they see how good a talent she was, and they was just like peppering her along to get album after album out. It was just a joke. Anyway, yep, she's still going now. She's done a few recent albums, probably about 5 years ago. I saw her at the Hammersmith Apollo on the Dawn of the, whatever it was, video. Well, the thing she'd done them 30 dates or 20 whatever dates it was. I ended up paying a tout £300. Nice, wasn't it? Yeah, like I say, she's born in 1958, started writing at the age of 11. First album was released 1978, 17th of February, and it peaked number 3 in the UK charts. Didn't do very well over in the States. In fact, I don't think it done very well at all. I think the lead single, Wuthering Heights, obviously went number 1 over here, but it bombed over there, and so they didn't bother following it up. I think the biggest thing that came for the States was Running Up That Hill, which is 1985, I do believe. So it was a fair trunk after. It was a good 7 years before she broke into America, and I still don't think she cracked it over there. But then again, not a lot of artists do. Look at Oasis; they never done it over there. The Boomtown Rats, they never done it over there. The Jam. Some artists can't be bothered, you know what I mean. As long as they're selling records and getting their money in their skyrocket, they don't worry about getting through over in America. Right, let's have a little look at this this album then. Right, the first side, I'm just going to take a few tracks and say how good I think they are, and how, you know what I mean. In fact, the old albums are worth a listen to. Don't get me wrong. It's not a terrible. There's not a terrible song on there, but there is a couple of. There's a weak song on there, definitely. So she released three singles off that album. Wuthering Heights went #1, A Man with a Child in His Eyes, that went #6, and Hammer Horror went #44. Scandalous, really, absolutely unbelievable how that only went #44. I'm a bit into a bit more like me rocky music, you know what I mean. I like a bit of oomph to me music, something with a bit of bass, you know what I mean, our bass drum kicking, boom, 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 you know what I mean, a bit of drive to me music. Although I like Kate Bush, and a lot of her stuff's piano orientated, got a lot of strings going on, but I still like a lot of her stuff, even though it's, you know what I mean, it's not as rocky as I'd like it to be. But there is some rocky songs on this album that are really good. Two of the songs on this album, saxophones, the saxophone song and Man with a Child in Her Eyes, was written when she was 15 years of age. That's unbelievable. She put the album out when she was 19. Like I say, David Gilmour found her. She was signed to EMI. Wuthering Heights obviously was something to do with Emily Bronte's novel, and that I think that went back in the charts on the book side of it once she released that thing. The first time I ever clapped eyes on Kate Bush was on the Top of the Pops, and that's the first time I listened to it. And I had my old gran round there at the time listening to it, and my mum and my gran went, "What on earth's this old?" Like, I thought myself, yeah. I said to Nan, and she just about to turn it over. I said, "What are you doing?" I said, "You don't even live here." She went, "What?" She said, "Yeah, I was just about to give it to her." She sat back down again. Yeah, so that's the first time I had to go straight out and get the album. That is the front cover of the album. Believe it or not, that's the front cover of the actual single as well. And if you can get hold of the single with that, you've got to get the picture sleeve, because unfortunately I didn't get it, and I got a basic EMI custom sleeve, which is like red or whatever it is. I've got the single somewhere up in the loft, I think. And yeah, so if you can get hold of that, it's probably set you back a bullseye, I would have thought, and obviously set you back a bit more if it's in really, really pucker condition, and like the sleeve and the actual vinyl's in right pucker condition. Probably put your best part of 70, 80 notes, but well worth getting hold of. I was tempted a little while ago when I had a few quid. Unfortunately now the wheels totally fell off, and now I'm wobbling it along just like with a bit of loose change in my pocket, as they say. Right, my favourite songs on the album, I've got to say Strange Phenomena, yeah, got that right, that's right. Strange Phenomena, absolutely different class. What a song that is off the side. This is side one, what a tune. That's probably the best song on the album, believe it or not. In front of Wuthering Heights and in front of Man with a Child in Their Eyes. They are both brilliant songs as well. But I've got to say Strange Phenomena for me, it's out there. It's different gravy to me. It's just right out there, and I'm thinking to myself, oh my dear, oh dear. It's like, well, it was not bad, well, I won't say, but yeah, most of her songs are like orientated, like piano orientated. Like she sits there and like she has a little, like some of like the last song on the second side, which is the title of the album, The Kick Inside. That's the name of the song. That's all piano. It's a bit acoustic, just her and like the piano. But what a song! Another song. That's another 10. Strange Phenomena a 10. I'd give Wuthering Heights a 10. I'd give the Man with a Child in His Eyes a 10. There's just some great songs on the album all over the place. It's just brilliant. I do like an album, like a song that starts off a little bit even if it's slow, but builds up, you know what I mean? It starts, like, all the old drums start coming in and the guitars and all that. I ain't too worried about the heavy guitars. Some of that just goes just over the top. I do like a bit of bass, and I do like my drummers. So yeah, I do like that. Anyway, so that's side one. Side two, we kick off with James and the Cold Gun. Now you're talking, you know what I mean? Now we're bobbing now we're really rocking. Now we're getting a right drive, you know what I mean? The big guns are coming out. The drummer's like starting to boot with a bass drum, you know what I mean, and getting the drive going, and that's another 10. It's just different gravy. It's just an absolutely stonker. It's a stonker. It ain't a stinker. We ain't talking stinkers here. It's a stonker. It's more raunchy and a bit rocky, so that's what I like about it. It's like than the previous songs on the other side. Obviously, Wuthering Eyes, she's got like an operatic voice, Kate Bush, you know what I mean? Like, the note she is. When I went to see her live, she opened up with a song called Kite, I think. No, I can't remember what song she... Lily, I can't remember. Anyway, you know what, I thought I was listening to a recording. I seriously, the voice was just absolutely unreal. It was just the crystal clear. It was like you was listening to your record player. It was like someone, it was just absolutely in a league of its own. Right, so James and the Cold Guns kicks off side two, and like I say, that's a 10 for me. That is just, I think that is the best. Well, the Kick Inside, I do like that song, and as well. So it's a bit difficult to choose the best tracks on the B side or the side two, because there's a lot of them. The only song that I'll give a little bit of a downer to is Feel It. I'm not feeling it, basically. I'm not feeling it. So it's the only song, I think it's the weakest song on the album. I don't know what other people are going to say. Perhaps they're going to say you're talking a load of old Tom Tit, man, what are you doing? But that for me is the weakest song on the track, on the album. Oh To Be In Love, oh my lordy, that is just absolutely superb. Another song, it just is right up there. It's just different class. It really is a different class. That's another 10 with me. It's got a great feel to it and a great beat right throughout, you know what I mean? It just keeps you going. It's just fantastic. You could put that on anywhere and everyone would like that. It's just a brilliant song. Lemur Looks Something Like You, another great song. I'd give that a 9. Yeah, I'll give that a 9. I can't really break that down too well, to tell the truth. It's just a nice song, you know what I mean? Nice, peaceful, mellow song. Yeah, I like it. Which moves on to Them Heavy People, which I absolutely love. It's got a right good drive to it, you know what I mean? A banging light drive again. So that's you know what I mean? That's me really in a nutshell. Do like the old bass going around, and I do like the guitars, you know what I mean, but I don't like them when they go too heavy, you know what I mean, like Hendrix, you know what I mean, and all that. I don't mind some of his stuff, but oh my lordy, rein it in, boy, rein it in. You don't need to be doing all that, you know what I mean? What's he doing? Calm it down, man. Pull it back, pull it back. Right, that gets what's that say? You know, I'm just looking at a few notes down here. Room for Life. Another one which I would say is probably the weakest song on side 2, believe it or not. I'll give that an 8. So I think it's about carrying a baby or something. Yeah, it's about carrying something about babies. She's a lot, in the album she talks a lot of sexuality, you know what I mean? She talks a lot about women doing things, like I think there's This Woman's Work, if you ever want to listen to a fantastic song from another album, This Woman's Work, that's all about carrying babies, I think. It's worth a listen, that Room for Life, it's worth a listen. Like I say, you've got one bad one on the front side, and that's not a stinker, but it's in between, you know what I mean? I'd say it's a filler, basically. It's an half decent filler, but it ain't for me. Right, that leads me on to the last track, which is Kick Inside, which, like I say, I've already sort of, it's just a piano orientated instrument, like acoustic, a cappella or whatever you call it, when she's just singing on her own, just on the piano. But that's a 10 for me. It's just absolutely fantastic. Anyway, that's my review on the album. Look, it's only my review, you know what I mean? Everyone's got their own personal taste, whether they think it's any good, whether they think it's no good. Me personally, I'd give it an overall 8. I'd say it was a stonker minus. Like, yeah, I'd say it was a stonker minus. So that's sort of like basically that. What else can we talk about to fill the rest of this video up? I suppose we can have a little look about your cleaners for your needle, like your styluses. I've got this little cleaner here. Don't get, my mince pies are awful. I do need the old bins, but it's just called a stylus cleaner. I think it's got a bit of alcohol in it, and you just like pull the brush out like that, dip it off, pull it towards this way. You know what I mean? Don't drag it that way on your stylus, otherwise you'll end up ripping the stylus off. It's like the diamond tip or whatever, but you just pull it towards, like from back to front, and that cleans your thingy. But I've got a little kit over there which I usually, when I buy my second-hand vinyl, I usually take it out of the sleeve. I usually spray it down, lay a cloth down, spray it down, rub it round a couple of times, flip it over and do the same. And hopefully it gets some of the you know what I mean, the grime up of it. Sometimes when you go to boot sales and charity shops, it's potluck, you can come home, put it on, and it's so much pop and crackle. It's like you're eating your Rice Krispies, you know what I mean? That's no good. That's just got to come off, and that's going to go straight in the bin, really. Unless you want to put it back on eBay and mug someone else off, because that's where most of your time you always do get mugged off. Yeah, so that's basically my video. Like I say, my name's Ron. I've been listening to music and buying music for about 45 years or more, on and off. Today I was just listening to a bit of the 70s. I do like the old 70s because that was my era, really. Proper era, like really when I started getting into music was... my mum used to have the radio on when I was going to school, like getting up and like having breakfast to go to the school, so I was listening to a bit of glam rock in the early 70s, mid 70s or wherever it was. But probably my era was around like Kate Bush, the Cars, Boomtown Rats, the Jam, things like that. But the 70s was great, I'll tell you. Like, I think 75 to 83 was the best. I would say if you was doing decades, if 73 or 74 to 83